thank you for your time in doing this. We really do appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen. Dr. Hatton, you did call in on Star, right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so like I said, guys, tonight, guys, Dr. Hatton was okay. Before I say anything, Earl, open us up in a word of prayer, please, sir.
I'm sorry, I was muted there. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this meeting, Lord. We thank you that iron sharpens iron, and you brought us together again to share with us, to impart in us. I pray that everyone receives this call as it's meant and take it as a blessing, the blessing that it's meant to be. Help us to grow spiritually and mentally and physically. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Appreciate that part. The powerful prayer, my brother. I know everybody feel better now for they have little rough edges around the edges throughout the day. I know they're gone now. So I appreciate that, man. A powerful prayer. And so we're not going tonight. We're just gonna kind of have an interaction like, Dr. Hatton was with us on last week, man. She gave us a real nice section and everything, man. And we didn't have enough. Several guys had questions and this and that, man. We didn't get a chance to get to everybody because we didn't want to keep her all night. And I appreciate what little time that she stayed over. So I asked her would she come back tonight, and she so gratefully accepted it. And we just going to have questions and answers. Anybody got any question, everything, we're going to let her just speak to us for about 10 minutes, maybe about 10 minutes or so, share a few things, maybe do a little recap of last week or however she want to do it in her own way. Then you got questions and everything. We'll be able to get more people questions in tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little pre-lunch right quick like I always do. Like I say each and every week, guys, we got to continue to pray to God that he continue to put us men in the same mindset so that we will continue to dwell and work together. So in harmony, man, because that's what it's all about. God is all about harmony. He's not about chaos, because if in chaos, God is not going to be in it. And so that's what it's all about. So we got to continue to stay in harmony, man, because that's why it's so important to get all that negative out your life as much as possible, man. We got to begin right now to remove things from our life, man, that distracting us, that holding us back, man. Need to think of ways every day to use our strength and develop them, man, because our future and our wealth and our prosperity and our self and our success and our health, all that depends on the things, man. All the good things in life are directly linked to our God done to give a gift, which God give all of us a gift, man. It's up to us to be able to unearth that gift, man, in order for us to move forward, because that's the reason we struggle so, because we're not operating in that gift that God gave us. So we got to be able to find out what that gift is and unearth that thing. Or not, and not wait. And he said, he stand there and not wait. He don't just bust in. He's a gentleman. He's not going to just bust in. He said he stand at the door and he knock and he wait. He'll wait until you open the door. And that same way it is with those thoughts and ideas and stuff that God give us. He put thoughts and he don't give us money. He give us thoughts and he give us ideas. And it's up to us to open the door and let thoughts and ideas and things out. And other than that, man, we will continue to struggle because we're not operating in those thoughts and ideas that he give us, man. So he give us those things in order to move us forward, to be able to help our family. I'm going to cut the chimes and everything off, guys, and I'm going to let Frederick read the bio, and then we'll turn Miss Hatton, Dr. Hatton loose. Then we go from there. All right, excellent. Tones are off. Frederick, go ahead and give us a bio, please, sir.
All right. Dr. Toni Hatton, the attractive thinker, is a vision and mindset expert, speaker, certified health coach, author of Don't Be Afraid, He's Preparing You, creator of the Attractive Thinker movement and the Instantly Implemented 12 Weeks to Vision and Mindset Clarity program, has written and recorded several songs, and was the host of the Attractive Thinker radio program for Radio 1 in Baltimore for 2 years. Dr. Toni is the recipient of a governor's citation and an honorary doctorate degree for the transformation that she provides in the community. a defining moment that could have dimmed her light actually gave her insight. As a result of showing her son how to see without eyes, it enabled her to show people with eyes how to see, how to properly see in life because his darkness became her light. Dr. Toni now supports new and aspiring entrepreneurs and people who struggle to accomplish their visions, dreams, and goals with getting clear about what they really want and bringing their vision into focus and in creating a plan that makes that dream become their new reality. Dr. Toni supports her clients through private and group coaching programs where to date, her practice has prevented 3 suicides, supported attractive thinkers in finding their purpose and their pain, supported thousands in shifting from homeless to hopeful and from devastation to determination. When attractive thinkers come into her presence, they get clear, experience a calming peace, release stress, embrace their creativity, and leave on fire, ready to create, live, and leave a legacy that speaks when they no longer can. Using her ability to find things that are lost and fix things that are broken, Dr. Toni pulls the gems from her journey, gives you life-altering, attractive thinker tools that uproot faulty beliefs, eliminate fears, and develop confidence and business courage. Dr. Toni is a mom of 4, 3 adults, and 1 teenager, all of which she homeschooled for 11 years after serving in the public school system as a PTA vice president and special needs advocate. Listen, if you know that someone has to change, but you're not sure what or how, then take out your attractive thinker notebook and pen and get ready to see beyond what you are looking at because you're too great to be defined by your current circumstance.
Amen. Amen. Awesome bio. So with no further ado, we're going to turn Dr. Hatton loose and let her speak to us a few minutes. Then, guys, get your questions and answers ready. Because like I said, we got to get our health right, guys. We got to. I was at a nursing home on last week, man. I was over there, and I was just looking around, and I was just looking at all the people's in there. The majority of people's in there because of bad health choices, So we got to do better, man, with our health. We got to start eating right. We got to. Otherwise, we're going to be leaving this earth earlier than we were supposed to. All right, Dr. Hatton, take it away. Go.
Great day, Frank Marshall and the FORCEOF1. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you again, Frank, for the opportunity. Thank you so much for the opportunity to add value to your audience tonight because this is so important. Men are leaders, as we shared last week, on your conference call, that men have a position. The topic last week was take pride in your position with nutrition. And, like you said just now, Frank, you say you visited the nursing home and most of the health conditions that the attendees were experiencing was due to lifestyle choices. The majority, and that's what statistics show. And I shared that last week. A lot of it, like 75% of it, 80% of the things that we deal with in our bodies are preventable. That means changing our lifestyle, meaning what we're eating or how we're treating our bodies or how we make our bodies a priority or not a priority. Or, how we move. Do we pay close attention to our bodies so much so that it's a priority? Like, did I take care of my body? Not just did I take care of my body today, because that's the indication that you're at the end of your day. What about, am I taking care of my body right now? What can I do right now, to take care of my body? Did I forget? It's just like, it's just like, okay, let's say your kids are grown and they've moved on, and all of a sudden you have your grandkids at home, and you're like, oh my God, I haven't had a baby in the house for so long, and you have to remember to feed the baby and remember to change the baby. And you have to remember to, get certain things out of the way to keep the baby safe. It's the same thing with ourselves. We can go throughout our whole day and forget to drink water, forget to feed our own bodies, forget to put ourselves first, forgetting to eat, and forgetting, like I heard, I believe it was Frank or one of the other gentlemen on the call even earlier about the negativity, keeping the negativity out. It's costly. It's expensive to entertain negativity because that affects us. It affects your body because your body is full of cells. If you really think about that, it's a compilation of cells. And if you remember, like in science class and in biology, we'll look at the cells under the microscope and see how the cells function and how they are affected by certain things and how they move based on the environment. So if cells are affected by environment and we are composed of cells, then we're affected by our environment. I wonder what a negative comment really does if we could see ourselves under the microscope. I wonder how it affects our cells. I wonder what it does to our cells. Do our cells frown? Do they close up? Do they, not excel the essence of health and healing like they should? Do they dry out like a raisin instead of a plump, juicy grape? Because cells are affected by the environment. So if we have negative people in our space and we entertain that, meaning we don't do something about that, meaning removing ourselves from that environment or setting up boundaries around ourselves are affected by so many things. And, there are so many different healing modalities that we could, investigate in and invest in ourselves to be well. People, when you hear people talk about acupuncture and acupressure and, meditation, those are healing modalities for the body. There's so many things that we can do to activate the healing within. Healing is built in. You don't have to go anywhere to get healed. It's built in. You hear different stories of people who are dealing with terminal illnesses or terminal cancer. And, for example, one story I heard, and this lady was dealing with a terminal illness, and her husband, Simon, he made up in his mind he was going to keep her in an environment that kept her happy. They watched comedy videos over and over, back to back to back to back, and kept her laughing, kept her happy, and he minimized the stress in her life. He handled everything so that she could heal. Her cells, he put her cells in an environment that kept her happy and kept her thriving, because your thoughts can heal. You can think a thought and trigger an emotion. Just like that. It happens in an instant. And if that's the case, we have to make sure that our thoughts are positive, because that supports our healing process as well. That supports our health and wellness as well. And, I must put this disclaimer out there. Information that we share that we're going to even be talking about tonight is not intended to treat, cure, or, diagnose any sickness or disease. It's for informational purposes. It's to trigger the knowledge and the truth, the reservoir of truth that is within you. That's why when you hear something and it's the truth, it resonates with your truth on the inside, you say, It went real deep, because the truth is already in you. Healing is already within us. All we have to do is reactivate it. And we reactivate it with our lifestyle. We have to assess what are we living? How are we living our lives? What am I drinking? What am I eating? Because living people need living food, and that's why people are dying too soon. They're eating dead food. You can't eat dead food and live. We're cutting off our years too soon. So I want to, answer your questions. I always want to come where you are. But, some of the highlights from last week, of course, we talked about the statistics, like what Frank just shared, show that most sickness and disease is preventable. I mean, we all have visited the hospital or had a loved one who was ill and things like that, and you visit and you look there and you see them and you see other people in the rooms and down the hall, and just the thought that this could be preventable. meaning the sickness and the disease, the pain and the suffering that they're experiencing, the tears of the loved ones who have to watch them go through that. You mean this could be preventable? And most of the time, Frank, people don't know that.
Right.
Most of the time they succumb to the system, the systemic way of thinking that because I'm aging, I have to go through this. My body's breaking down, and this is what happens as we age. Or I get sick because I'm aging, or I'm dealing with arthritis because I'm aging. That's not true. That's not true. And like I shared last week, I don't believe that God created the body to continue to live and break down so you're not even able to function or enjoy the abundant life, enjoy the life you're living. The two don't even go together. So we have to ask ourselves, why am I experiencing, these aches and pains? And here's the deal. Like I said last week, it's not, the body isn't breaking down because of the aging process. It breaks down because the body is not healthy enough to handle the aging process.
Mm.
The body has to be healthy in order to handle the aging process. As we age, of course, we're losing some reserve, and we have to double up on that in nutritional supplements and in our food. Whereas when we're young, our reserves are at 100%, and we're able to take a licking and keep on taking, and we're able to eat candy and ice cream and cake. But as we age, we lose our powerful reserves, and we have to double up on them in nutrition. We can't eat like we were children. We can't eat donuts for breakfast. We can't eat pizza and hot dogs and French fries for lunch and dinner, because the body can't handle it. It goes through a transformation, and it needs certain things in order to keep the bones strong, in order to keep the teeth and gums in place, in order to keep the hair in our head. It needs certain nutrients. So we have to make sure when you're healthy, the body can handle the aging process. And that's why you see people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s and tell you how old they are, and you don't even believe them. Skin is beautiful, hair is beautiful, and they're still walking around, they're still skiing and skating and bike riding and dancing. They're not on canes and walkers because their body is strong enough to handle the aging transformation. And that's what we want to. And the beautiful part about this, Frank, is because healing is built in, you can start wherever you are.
Right.
It's
Amen.
never too late. You can start wherever you are. I guarantee you, if you start drinking the proper amount of water today, you'll notice your body start responding to that. You'll notice a difference, whether it's mental clarity or you feel lighter or more energetic, no more foggy thinking, no more, issues with headaches. Think about that. Minimizing stress just by drinking the proper amount of water. Whatever you weigh, let's say, take, for example, a person that weighs 200 pounds. Half of that is 100 pounds. Drink 100 ounces of water to hydrate that body. Everybody's body is different, and we weigh different things, so you have to drink enough to hydrate your body. And just imagine. When I talk about hydrate, I'm talking about the difference between a grape and a raisin. One is plump and juicy, and one is dried out. And if you're dehydrated, you're having headaches. If you're dehydrated, your skin is dry all the time. If you're dehydrated, you might have a lack of mental clarity and focus. You might be stressed a lot if you're dehydrated. That's the difference between your urine being golden, yellow, or brown to your urine looking like water. That's the difference. See, people don't like to talk like that. They don't like to talk about these things. But this is getting to the nitty-gritty. This is the truth. And, I shared last week about sometimes how men don't like to go to the doctor. They don't like to talk about certain things. But it's very painful. There are effects to not talking about your health because you're attached to so many people that love you. And they're the ones that are affected. You're affected because your body has to go through the pain and all of that anguish and being hooked up to tubes and, not able to function and enjoy your family, and you're missing out on graduations and baby showers and weddings and all kinds of things with your family and traveling and vacations. That's affecting you, and it's affecting the people that you love. All because of dehydration. I remember one time somebody dear to me ended up in the hospital, and all the doctors did was give them an IV and hydrated their body and let them go.
Wow.
You mean to tell me we had to stop what we were doing, stop praying and building a prayer chain and calling on head family all across the city, stopping what they're doing, grabbing up their kids to come and find out what's going on with you because you didn't drink enough water? We got to think about that. We have to think about the people that are affected. We say we love our families. Love is an action word. I love my family enough to eat right. I love my family enough to drink the right amount of water to keep myself hydrated. I love my family enough to take care of myself. I love my family enough to be there to walk my daughter down the aisle, to be there for my son's graduation and his baseball games, and to be there for the birth of my grandchildren. I love my family enough to take care of myself. So we have to think about that. We talk about being well and being healthy. It's more than just looking buff and being able to fit into a certain type of clothing or, looking good. It goes deeper than that. Like Frank started out the call, he said people are leaving here today and gone tomorrow. Back to you, Frank. I definitely wanted to answer some of the questions that your callers had.
Wow, that's spot on, man. I'm one man, I'll just turn the call and just let you talk. We don't have no questions. Just tell us, just shut up and just listen and just learn. But that's you spot on. But you right on, about that water and what have you. We got to be able to drink water. Cause a lot of times, just having a headache, just like you said, just drinking water makes all the difference. We can tell a lot of times, Dr. Hatton, if we dehydrate, you can just take your two fingers and just like pinch your skin and then kind of pull your skin up. And then if the skin don't go back into its natural form right away, it's a good sign that you dehydrate. But if you grab your skin and just kind of pull it up and it go right back in place, time you turn it loose, that's a good sign that you all right. That's good stuff. So I'm not going to do much talk. I'm going to open it up. You won't mute, guys. If you got a question for Dr. Hatton or whatever, okay, but just a comment or what have you, do so at this time. All right, one at a time. All right, is someone forming it?
Hey, this is Brother Frederick. I have a question.
Yeah. Great day, Brother Frederick.
Great, awesome presentation. Enjoyed it. My question is, Dr. Hatton, could you briefly explain the importance of having, could you explain the importance of eating healthy in relation to having a good gut? Because I say this statement to lead into the question is that one of the things that I found out if people have a leaky gut, they have a lot of autoimmune deficiencies or they have a lot of issues dealing with their body, so they take different medicines and, to mask the pain or mask the symptoms, but most of the problem comes from gut because really 75% of autoimmune, your immune system comes from the gut. So if your gut is not aligned right, if it's not healthy, then I know that, a lot of diseases and a lot of stuff happens. So could you explain that, why the gut is so important?
Yes, absolutely. The gut is so important because this is how our nutrition is processed and how we eat. It's either our food is processed, we eat it, it goes, through our digestive system into our intestines, and through the intestinal wall into the bloodstream is where we get our nutrients. And if we're not eating properly, eating a lot of processed food, you know, at our meals, it's a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, and a lot of fat. And the body is trying to process that. It's not healthy for the gut. The gut needs a lot of fiber. It needs bacteria, like healthy bacteria, probiotics, and things like that from living food, from real food that is alive. This is what a living body needs. Think about giving a living body shoes. You're going to sit there and eat a pair of shoes or eat a shirt or eat a book. I mean, that's what I mean when I say processed food, stuff that the body is not designed to eat, to consume, to process. So it doesn't know what to do with it. Then you have digestional problems because you can't digest your food, or your food sits and ferments. For example, pork. Pork, you just can't digest that. It just rots from one end to the other. And that's sitting and that's fermenting. You know, certain foods don't even go together, like eating a lot of protein with a lot of carbs. There are certain enzymes. See, we need enzymes to digest our food as well, and you get a lot of them from raw food like fruits and vegetables. But there are certain enzymes that digest protein, which are different from the enzymes that digest carbohydrates. So when we eat protein and carbohydrates together, now we got this fermentation process going on, and you get gas and bloating and bubbling up and the stomach swelling and things like that. That's an indication that you ate something that didn't go well, it didn't sit well, wasn't able to be processed the proper way, and now you've got almost like this chemical concoction going on in the digestive tract. So eating properly, when we eat, we're not supposed to be bloated at the end of a meal. We're not, you know, and it's so common. It's so common, and we're so used to it that nobody thinks anything of it. We just laugh about it. I'm buttoning our pants after a meal. Man, that food was so good. I got to unbutton my pants. Well, you have to unbutton them because whatever you ate you weren't supposed to eat it together, and it didn't get digested. So now it starts to bubble up like a chemical experiment, and it just swells. And it stays that way until the next meal if you're eating a proper meal, and then you can properly digest that. So eating right definitely is directly related. And like you said, Brother Frederick, about the immune system being located around that area, if you think about that, your immune system being affected by your digestive tract. What about these recurring colds and flus and always having sinus issues and always every time somebody sneezes on you, you get sick? Your immune system is located in that area. And if your digestive tract is off, it is affecting your immune system. That means your immune system is not strong enough to fight off a cold. Somebody sneezes on you and you go home and go to bed, you wake up the next morning, your throat is hurting and your nose is running, because you just disarmed your entire army. Your immune system. See, we talk about healing that's built in. It's the immune system, that's your internal army that is designed to fight for you. So if you want to activate your army, you got to build your immune system. And one of the things that suppresses the immune system is sugar. 1 can of soda can suppress your immune system for up to 5 hours.
Wow.
Because it has at least 12 to 14 teaspoons of sugar. Now, you wouldn't consciously put that many teaspoons of sugar. I did a demonstration during one of my speaking events, and I had a glass, and I brought a bag of sugar, and I had one of the participants from the audience put 12 to 14 teaspoons of sugar in the glass. And then we opened the bottle of water. She poured that in there, and I had some food coloring. I said, "What's your favorite soda?" And I think her favorite soda was something red, like a fruit punch or something. I had different colors. It could have been Coke. We could have made chocolate food coloring. But hers was red. So we put the red food coloring. I said, "Let's stir it up." And I gave it to her. I said, "Go ahead and drink it." And she had a terrible look on her face, like a distasteful. I said, "Oh, no. You drink soda." I said, "The only thing that's not in this cup is carbonated water." Only thing that's not in this cup. I said, you go to the store, you spend your hard-earned money, you buy it, and you pour it down your throat. Have a drink. And she wouldn't even touch it because she saw what went into it. So what I said, if you drink soda, turn the can around on the next soda that you purchase and look at how many carbs are in there. That's how much sugar you're putting in your body. Sugar suppresses the immune system. When you consume sugar and your body is just an overload and your body can't process, you're not going to exercise and work at all, then your body's going to store it in your fat cells. And if it's too much sugar, your insulin can't keep up with it. That sugar is just floating around in your bloodstream, damaging your veins and your arteries because it doesn't have anywhere to go. Think about that. We're consuming sugar. Sugar, we could burn that off with energy, but if we're not exercising, we're consuming all that sugar, not exercise, we're not burning it off. Where is it going? It's damaged. It's just floating around in the arteries. It can't go into the cells because you overwork your insulin. Insulin is the key that unlocks the cell and let the sugar in. But if you're eating think about it. Some people still have that 5-pound bag of Domino sugar in their cabinet. We're not supposed to have that. That's just too much sugar. Sugar is in it's in your toothpaste, it's in chewing gum, it's in bread, it's in anything that, you might want to write this down in your attractive thinker notebook. Anything that ends in OSE is a form of sugar. Glucose, fructose, maltodextrose. Think about that. It's hidden sugar. See, they're not going to say SUGAR because they know that means sugar, but it's hidden in the OSE. So you got to be a conscious consumer. All of that has to do with the gut. And you can see it's about being conscious, paying attention to your gut, paying attention to how often you eliminate. It's not normal to go a full week. I ask my clients all of the time, how often do you eliminate? Well, once a week. What? All week long you done ate hot dogs and pizza and pig feet and whatever else people be eating and just sitting there?
Wow.
What is that to the body? What is that doing to the body? If it's just sitting there, you're not eliminating that. Back to you, Frank.
Wow, that's powerful. That's scary, Roy. Now, you were speaking of the cells a while ago, how the effect needs to be in a great, wholesome environment. The cells, don't they replace themselves like every 3 months? The cells do?
It depends. See, the thing about it, when we're talking about the body cells, there are different cells for every part of the body. That's why doctors can look at certain cells and say, oh, this is a liver cell. Oh, this is a kidney cell. All the organs have this. They're all cells, but they have different identifiable parts. So you can look at the cell and tell what kind of cell it is. So each of them regenerate at different, times, like different time frames, like the liver. You can grow a new liver. A lot of people don't know that. You can grow a new liver because that liver regenerates. That's why we have to really get in tune with the body and its needs. I know we weren't taught this stuff, but it's our responsibility because we're living in it. Everybody is living inside of a body, and we drag this body around everywhere we go, and we really need to take care of it because this body, Frank, can do things that we haven't even discovered yet.
I was just I had lunch with this young man today, and we were talking about that, and I was just telling him that same thing. We'll study everything except the body. Some two of the main things it really takes us to move forward in life, and that's money and this body and all. We won't study. We won't study how to handle money. We won't study how to take care of our body. Those two things right there, those are not no interesting topics to us. We shy away from those, but we coming around. We get much, much better with that. Because you start talking about money to people, you see how they start drying up, and you start talking about their body, they get kind of quiet, But they know putting the proper stuff in their body. How important. Okay, go ahead. You about to say something?
Oh no! I was agreeing with you.
Well, I don't want to do all the talking. I want to open up for someone else. That was a good question, Fred. You talking about that gut, and I was just talking about that gut as well today, man. That gut is very powerful. That's where a lot of sickness is right there. And a lot of, like you said, just it's storage food. So that's why it's so important for us to take laxative regular. It's very key. Someone else?
If there are any first-time callers,
Okay, good, friend. Thanks.
Please star six and come in, state your name, and start off your statement with my question.
All right, thanks.
Hey, Frank, this is Rod.
Hey, what's going on, brother Rod? I was going to call on you, man. I'm definitely going to call on you. Talk to her, Rod.
Well, I had a question because I remember last week when she talked, I know she talked about her son having some challenges, but if I'm not mistaken, you did talk about anemia, and I have a little nephew right now that's going through some challenges with aplastia or aplastic anemia, however you say it, and he's been in and out, for about, maybe 3 months now, the hospital. And I think you did some natural things that may have worked with anemia. Can you give me some information as to what you did and to work with the situation you had?
Yes. There are different types of anemia. My daughter dealt with iron deficiency anemia. There are a number of reasons why a person can be anemic, especially a male. Females deal with anemia for a number of reasons. One of the number one reasons is the monthly cycle. So when it comes down to a male, it could be different reasons. It could be liver. Does that sound familiar if you're dealing with a liver issue?
Well, and again, I don't know specifically a whole lot of what the doctors were saying. I'm kind of on the back end. I just know that's what he's dealing with. They haven't said it was liver or, to my knowledge, or anything specific. I just know they've been talking about bone marrow and maybe his blood count, like his white blood count was really, really low and his red blood count was really, really low. So that's the extent of what I'm informed on.
What I would like to do is have you call the office number so we can talk, offline about that, and I can give you some information to support you in that area. Is that okay?
Sure. What's that number?
410-298-2121.
All right. Thank you so much. And any particular hours or?
Yes, you can call, and if you don't get an answer, you can leave a message, and I'll definitely return your call. But, to talk about anemia, when I was talking about my daughter dealing with anemia, she had iron deficiency anemia. So, in that sense, if it's an iron deficiency situation, you want to be eating iron-rich foods, leafy greens. You want to definitely, especially with I believe you said it was your nephew, ask the doctor. That's the thing. We have to work with the doctor. Doctors are medical doctors. They're studying medicine. They're not naturopathic doctors or alternative medicine doctors. So a lot of times if you're going to take a natural approach, you want to work with your doctor and run things by the doctor. Ask him, can I give my child this while he's on this medication or while he's preparing to have this surgery or things like that? Because a lot of times, my doctors know I don't, take prescription drugs and things like that. So they always ask me, what nutritional supplements am I taking? Am I taking anything new? Things like that. That's very important because if they want to do a procedure or anything, if they're giving me eye drops, whatever it is for eye exam, they need to know, are you taking vitamin K or are you taking a vitamin A or something like that? Because certain vitamins and minerals thin the blood. If you're having surgery, you don't want to do that. You could bleed to death, So you want to talk to the doctor about the nutritional things that you're giving your nephew or whatever to make sure that it's going to work with the treatment that the doctor is giving him. So when it comes down to iron deficiency, you want to eat iron-rich foods, and there's so many nutritional supplements. Greens are number one, but there's some specific nutritional supplements that actually grow the blood, and that's what I was able to do with my daughter. It's so many different ways. We have to be truth seekers, always seeking the truth, because this is what I want to encourage us on the call. And I want you to understand that if you have a problem, there is a solution. There are no problems that have no solution. If a problem exists, so does the solution. And it's just a matter of discovering what that solution is. And it's a different type of solution for everybody. Your nephew is a certain age. He's still probably a child. My daughter was 18, like a grown woman, So there are solutions based on where we are in life. We just have to be truth speakers, and I celebrate you for, being on the call and speaking on your nephew's behalf. We need people to do that, not just the parent, always seeking a solution, because it's tough. It is tough. If you're a parent and you have a child that is ill, that is dealing with a life-threatening illness, that's tough. So I celebrate you for, speaking on their behalf and going out and getting information for them. There was so many people that did that for us that made a difference in our lives. So I celebrate you for that, and I look forward to hearing from you.
All right. Thank you for the number, and you'll hear from me soon. Thank you.
Awesome.
Amen. Amen. Are there anyone else? Are there any new callers out there that never been on a Force of One call before and may have a question for Dr. Hatton? Just do hit star 6 and speak at this time. Some people are a little shy about speaking up, but if not, anyone got a question for Dr. Hatton, can do it at this time.
Hey, Frank, I have a question.
All right, go ahead, partner.
Hey, Dr. Hatton, how are you doing tonight?
Now, who you are. Tell them who you are, Earl.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Earl Hudson. Dr. Hatton, I'm one of those people that don't eliminate very often, and I've tried. I eat a lot of vegetables. I don't eat a lot of meat, but my body just does not eliminate very often, and so I'm curious about that. And also, I have a lot of pain, like in my hands and my wrists. I do physical work. I do remodeling type work, and sometimes I can't even swing a hammer. I went to the doctor, and he said that I have arthritis, and he said I have the gout. Is there anything natural that you could recommend that I could take for those? Because I don't like taking medication. I don't like taking medicine. I'm just afraid of it.
Did you mention gout?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sour cherry. So you want to write that down. Cherry juice. Gout is a buildup of uric acid.
Right.
And when it comes down to arthritis, I'm going to share two powerful, I call them spices. They could be herbs or roots, however you want to put it, but they're powerful when it comes down to arthritis, reducing inflammation and pain and things like that. And that's ginger roots, and I would suggest buying the real ginger root, not the ginger powder or anything like that, although that does work, but the ginger root is just raw and it's real and it's from the ground and it's definitely effective. And turmeric root. And you can actually, turmeric.
Turmeric, okay, thank you.
Yeah, turmeric and ginger are powerful when it comes down to improving circulation in the body and reducing inflammation and pain, okay? So what you can do with of course, you can cook with them. You can make soups with them. You can wash them off real good, peel it like with a potato peeler and slice it or dice it or shave it or whatever you want to do. You can put it in your food. But what I do is I make a tea out of it. So you can put it in a pot of water and bring it to a boil and just drink that tea all throughout the day. You can carry it with you. Put it in what do you call it, those little canisters that people carry around with them. And you will notice a reduction of pain and inflammation. And just do it regularly. Just make this a daily routine. Ginger and turmeric, adding it in.
Okay, thank you.
And when it comes down to elimination, making sure you're hydrated. Number one, drinking enough water because water moves things. I would suggest pears. Pears is a big one. I also want to give you another suggestion. It's called, do you drink teas, like herbal teas or anything like that?
I don't.
Okay. So here's one that you could do at night. You could, it's by Triple Leaf. That's the brand name. It's by Triple Leaf. And I know if you could use to eliminate some excessive weight or whatever, but it's the side effect of it. It's called slimming tea, but it will get you moving in the morning. If you drink it at night, you'll start moving in the morning. It's a powerful
green tea or what? Is that green or what?
It's called slimming tea. It's not a green tea. It has a lot of herbs in it. It's called slimming tea.
Slimming is L-I-M-M-I-N?
Yeah.
Slimming, okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right. Are there anyone else? Good question, Earl. Are there anyone else? Talk to us, guy. We got the doctor on the line tonight, guy. You want to feel better tomorrow? Come on, get this information. Well, how important, Doc, like for drinking honey ginseng in a Canaan pepper?
Hello.
Okay, go ahead. Speak.
Hey, this is Patrick. I was had a question about emu oil. Do you know anything about emu oil and what it's good for?
I've heard of emu. You talking about EMU?
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of it. I'm not too familiar with it. I've heard it, in the health community a lot, but I'm not too familiar with it.
Okay. The only place I ever found it was in Alabama, which I was in Alabama today. But I heard it does a lot of things for you, like cholesterol and pain relief. But I'm sure. I heard it does a lot of different things, but I'm not sure what all it does.
Absolutely. I highly recommend oils like extra virgin cold pressed olive oil, coconut oil, avocados, your oil vitamins like vitamin A and E, and D3, because the brain needs a lot of oil. Your brain is a ball of fat, and it needs a lot of oil in order for those connections to continue to be made, those electrical connections, those neurotransmitters and things like that. And when the body doesn't have enough oil, you can experience foggy thinking. Again, dry skin. The body's not having enough oil. Dry, brittle fingernails, and toenail issues and things like that. So when it comes down to oils, you can get them in all kinds of ways. You can get them in capsule form. You can put them in your smoothie. You can stir fry with them. Instead of all that vegetable oil and all that grease, coconut oil can withstand high temperatures. You can actually stir fry in coconut oil, which is very healthy, for your skin and nails and hair and things like that. So emu oil, I've heard about that in the health community. A lot of health gurus talk about it. I haven't tried it yet, but I definitely know that people use. Yeah.
I also heard that if you take coconut oil 30 minutes before you eat every meal, that would actually reduce the inflammation of the brain also, which is where you get memory loss and eventually Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and that's a big issue when it comes down to Alzheimer's. We have to keep the brain healthy with these oils. And another thing is heavy metals getting attached to the brain. You want to make sure that you're detoxing. We have to cleanse the body. If you've never done a cleanse before, look at whatever age that you are. You say, oh, my God, like all these years and I've never cleansed my body. I've cleaned my house and I've cleaned my car and I've cleaned my desk and I've cleaned my closet, but I haven't cleaned out my body, cleaned off my organs. So you want to start investigating in a cleansing product. And I know the Slimming Tea that I just recommended, that's a powerful tool. Just read the directions on the back, and it's real simple. You drink it after dinner, and it just does wonders all throughout the night. Your liver's working and things like that, and you begin to eliminate during the day. So you definitely want to do that in addition to these healthy oils, like, Patrick was talking about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's is a real issue in our country, and I'm not sure if people are really paying attention, but Alzheimer's is running rampant like a common cold.
Wow. So the Slimming Tea, does that eliminate the metals also?
The heavy metals. Now, one of the herbs you want to use for eliminating heavy metals is cilantro. You can buy that. It looks like parsley a little bit, but you got to look at the leaf.
Right.
Yeah, the leaf, cilantro, cilantro. And again, in your smoothie, chop it up, fresh. If you're going to stir fry something, don't put the cilantro in the pan. Chop it up fresh and put it on your plate after you bring it off the heat, because you don't want to kill all the nutrients in the cilantro. But you definitely want to include that in your diet as well.
Okay.
Doctor, may I ask you a question? Hello?
Hold on 1 second. Fred, Patrick, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm finished. That was awesome. Great.
Okay, go ahead, my brother. Who's speaking?
This is Ron, a.k.a. in Fort Worth, Texas.
Oh, what's going on, Ron? Go ahead, talk to him.
Well, Doctor, unfortunately, I was not on the call last week, but I can tell you, based on what I've heard, you are a blessing, and your information is a blessing, and I thank you for that. It's my understanding that over 60% of family meals are eaten outside the home. Now, it's difficult for me to imagine that 13 plus meals a week eaten in restaurants, regardless of what kind, can maintain what you're suggesting here. And I'm just wondering if the problem is not so much our knowledge as it is our habits and the environment at home. Meaning that, and I admit that I'm older than probably most of you, but back in the day there was classes like home ec and things like that where ladies actually learned how to cook if their mother or granny didn't teach them, and could adapt to these needs to nourish our bodies in a way that God had designed. But the lifestyle today and the single-family homes and so on seems it to be insurmountable. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I totally agree. It is the lifestyle and the fast-paced lives that we're living, and like you said, single-family homes. You know, single parents can only do but so much. You know, we try to, you know, I was raised by a single mom, and she tried to do everything, but she couldn't. And it's kind of difficult. I mean, everything today is fast-paced, and you're talking about cooking for every meal, and that's one of the things that we've gotten used to. So when it comes down to fast food and eating out all of the time, we think that we have to sit, every time we sit down to eat, it has to be chicken and potatoes and, you know, macaroni and cheese and a whole heavy plate like that. But we got to look at portion size. We got to look at what we're eating. We got to look at how we're feeling after we eat. You know, a lot of times, you know, it doesn't take all of that for one meal. It's also, we got to make a lot of adjustments mentally. Mm-hmm. A lot of this is a subconscious program. We are conditioned to do. Think about this. You wouldn't, I mean, for something common like a hot dog, you wouldn't sit down, or let's say a hamburger. You wouldn't sit down and eat a hamburger without the bun. You would feel like something's missing. You would eat that and then you start looking around for something.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and you're right, Doctor. And by the way, don't take my comments as being any way, shape, or form pejorative in any sense. But even married couples, young married couples today, they have a child, and almost from day one, that child is put in daycare because she's going to work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So from meal 1, meal 2, and most likely meal 3, that's not being eaten in the home. Mm-hmm. And I would suggest to you, even if it was, she doesn't have your knowledge and skill set to do it the way God would hope that we would do it. In terms of the right diet and the right food and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. So we have not only a dietary problem, as you are so skilled and so aware, and your knowledge is just, this is only my first time on this call, and I've learned a lot. But the real big numbers out there I'm so frustrated. It seems like it's just insurmountable. Mm-hmm. Because in order to do what you're saying, somebody's got to be home to cook it. Somebody's got to be home to do it.
Yes, and it takes time, you know. Yeah. But because, you know, health, I would say natural alternatives and being healthy is on the rise. More people are doing it now than ever. There are so many quick and easy ways. You know, I'm actually running a 30-day transformation, and we're in our second month. I mean, it was so phenomenal that everybody's still hanging around. They want to do it again because they started seeing transformation just in 30 days. And I did it because I wanted people to see that the body can change. Your body can transform. All you have to do is make some subtle changes in your body. And this week we're into recipes, and I've been posting some simple, quick. It only takes me like 5 to 10 minutes to make a meal. I'm busy. I'm serving. I'm helping people transform their lives. I'm writing books, and I'm doing things. I don't have time to sit down and every time it's time to eat, I'm pulling out fried chicken and pork chops, and I don't have time for
Yeah, and I totally understand. I rejoined a gym 10 years ago, August of 2007, and I today weigh close to 50 pounds less than I did that day. And it was because, and I see these folks come to the gym all the time in January, and by March they're gone because they think it's a 30-day transformation. And it takes time, diet changes, the exercise, and so on. And everybody wants this. And I have to confess to you, even I tap my foot in front of the microwave occasionally because we live in this world of instant gratification. And the time it takes to make this transformation is just simply not overnight. And in God's Word, He has demonstrated that time and time again. Transformation is not overnight.
That's right.
Other than salvation.
Okay.
That's
Let's
great.
see. We go.
The time now is 8:57 p.m., guys. So thank you
right
for first time
I
calling.
got hold on, Fred. We got time for maybe about one more. That was good, Ron. I appreciate that, Ron. That's awesome question, man. Appreciate that input.
You're welcome.
Got about 3 minutes.
Hey, Dugal.
Okay, go ahead, Dugal.
Hey, Dr. Hatton. Thank you for coming back and educating us and reiterating the importance of taking care of our body. And you're right on point. I know personally with when I am actively exercising, my mindset is different. I'm craving less of the junk and really wanting to eat more healthy. I have a couple questions. And with drinking water, I've added adding lime or lemonade, not lemonade, but lime juice or apple cider vinegar. And also, I boil and drink a lot of the ginger root. Can you speak on those briefly?
Okay, you want me to reference, you said apple cider vinegar, lemon, lime, and ginger, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
ginger,
great.
yes.
Yeah, so the apple cider vinegar, I'm with you on that one. I use that every single day by Bragg's, Braggs, and it has so many health benefits. One of the major benefits that I experienced when I first started with the apple cider vinegar was balancing of the blood pressure. I remember I went to the doctor, and at one time when my daughter was ill, when your kids are going through things, you forget about yourself and all the little things you had in place for yourself as a priority and taking care of yourself. Now it's all your energy turns into your kids. So after she got well, I'm going to the doctor to get my physical. My doctor's telling me I have high blood pressure. I said, give me 2 weeks, I'll be back. She says, oh, Mrs. Hatton, we can't let you walk around with high blood pressure. I said, I'll take care of it. Give me 2 weeks, I'll be right back. Within 2 weeks, I had lost 13 pounds and balanced my own blood pressure. When I went back to the doctor, the people at the front desk, while they were checking me in, had already started talking. They already started transformation before I even got back there. And when my doctor came into the room, she was like, I want to know how you did that. So that raw apple cider vinegar will balance your blood pressure if you use it every single day. And
I agree with that because it worked for me with high blood pressure. The doctor tried to give me medication for high blood pressure, and I refused to. And I did my exercise, and I did the Bragg, the same apple cider you talked about.
Yeah, it works. That's what I'm saying. It works. There are so many different things that work in this world that come from the earth, that will activate the healing in our body. It matches. It's a perfect match. I call it a cellular match. When we eat from the earth, fruits and vegetables and the things that are living, and it matches the cells in our living body. The same cells in fruits and vegetables match the cells that we have in our body. And that's where the healing takes place. But we can't be eating donkey meat and pork this and fried that and greasy this and expect the body to respond in a great way. We have to give the body what it needs. So when it comes down to apple cider vinegar, yes, I totally agree. Every single day, sometimes maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And on top of that, you don't want to just include apple cider vinegar on top of all the unhealthy eating habits. You got to change some eating habits. You got to eliminate some stuff. You have to make up your mind, say, you know what, I'm just going to eat what I'm going to eat. Healthy protein, fruits, vegetables, healthy carbs, things like that. And when it comes down to the lemons and the limes, of course, I do that every single day. They're very detoxifying. They keep your skin beautiful. They keep your hair and nails beautiful. They keep they keep your body internally clean. You want to be internally clean. You want things to flow. We're not supposed to be backed up. You want to, when you think about a baby system, a brand new baby. When they eat, what do? They go to the bathroom. So this holding on to it for a whole week, that's not working. That's not normal. The body is full of systems. So it's like a plumbing system. Something is backed up if you're not going but once a week. So you want things to start flowing. There's water in fruits and vegetables. So not just water, drinkers say, oh, my God, I got to drink all this water. No, eating fruits and vegetables is water as well. And like I shared earlier, when it comes down to ginger, I definitely wanted to reference that because you mentioned that. It's a powerful tool. It's a ginger root. It's small, but it is big in stature. It can save you a hospital visit. Back to you, Frank. Thank you.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. It's 2 minutes after 9. That was powerful. I really, really appreciate you. Well, we'll talk offline, maybe, because I was...
I'm sorry. I had a question.
Which is after 9 now. Doctor, you have time for another question?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm a first caller, and this is Felicia.
Pardon me?
This is Felicia.
Okay, Felicia.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm a first-time caller, and I didn't know how to unmute myself. And my brother-in-law called in a little bit ago about my son. He was talking about his nephew that has been diagnosed with aplastic anemia. He actually gave me the number to call in, and I just had just a couple of questions of what she thought that would help him start developing his cells again. The aplastic anemia has to do with his immune system. It's an autoimmune disorder where his immune system is attacking his bone marrow, and it's causing it to not produce his white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. And he's currently going through treatment, and he's the one that my brother-in-law was talking about has been in the hospital in and out for the last 2 months with that, from complications from the treatments and everything. And I was just wondering, are there any foods, or I know he needs more fruits and vegetables. He's not that good at that, but he's getting better with that. And his white count is coming up. It's gotten to normal. But I was just trying to see if she could shed some light on anything that could, help with that. Or do we still need to call that number that you gave him earlier?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much for showing up, for the call tonight to get the information. Did you get the number that I gave to Ron?
I'll get it from him. I was listening in, but I didn't know how to unmute myself so I could ask a question.
Right. That's fine. Take this number down real quick, 410.
Oh, I don't have anything. Is this the same number you gave him? I can get it.
Yes, it is. If he has it, yep, absolutely. Then you can get it from him. And I look forward to hearing from you, Felicia.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
All right. We appreciate everybody coming on. Appreciate your questions and everything. It was a very profound question. I pray and hope guys hit the ground running tomorrow, man, ready to take better care of themselves, really get serious. If you really want to stay well, you got to get serious about staying well. And it's not really that hard. It's all in just making a decision decision. That I'm reminded of something J.P. Morgan said. J.P. Morgan said, if you want to get from where you are now, you got to make a decision in order to get somewhere. And that's the same with it with our health. If we want better health, we got to make a decision, start doing the things that are necessary in order to do it. And it's not that hard. It's all in just making up your mind. Just like I was saying, Doc, we want to maybe offline, maybe see what can we do, maybe at some point in time get you to come here to ATL and do a workshop or something for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And maybe how would they get some of your material, like a book or something, and by what they need to do to get some of your material? They want to purchase some of your material.
Sure. The website for the Attractive Thinker is www.theattractive.
Spell it.
TheAttractive Thinker, THINKER GURU. So you should have www.theattractivethinker.guru. G as in Gary, URU.
And I still have that. What you sent me, if anybody wanted, I can send it to them.
Yes, that's for the health assessment. There are so many hindrances and blocks and hidden things that we aren't aware of that is holding us back, keeping us from our wellness goals. So it's a powerful health assessment to really get you in tune with your body and what it needs. And you can download that assessment at www.assessment, ASSESSMEN dot, and just put my website right there, theattractivethinker.guru.
Okay. And I also will post it on our Facebook page, too, on our FORCEOF1 Facebook page. We'll post it.
Okay.
Once again, like I say, we really, really appreciate you and all, and so we would definitely be getting you back at some point in time.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Frank.
Thank you for accepting it.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure to add value. I just want to encourage everybody to make your health a priority and, have a big enough why, have a really big why. And one of them could be, I want to know how far I can go. I want to know who I can really become. I want to know how great I can really feel. I want to know how long I can really live. I want to know what my body can really do, this body that I'm living in. What is it made of? What is its potential? What could it really do if I position it for health and wellness success? Back to you, Frank.
Okay, one more question, because I have had a few guys where hoping you kind of touched on, they asked me about it, but I'm going to throw it out there. Like men, like sometimes men want something like what kind of vitamin, what they need to do to get an enhancement, if you know what I mean. What kind of vitamin, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. So, number one, if you're taking any type of nutritional supplement, you want to make sure that it's a whole food-based supplement. There are a lot of synthetic vitamins and minerals out here, and a lot of things that people are selling that have things in them that will be contrary to the goals that you have. So when it comes down to male performance and all of that, circulation, that ginger and that turmeric, improves circulation.
Right.
Keep things flowing, reducing inflammation and improving the body. When it comes down to male performance, you want to make sure your blood pressure is balanced.
Right.
All of these systems work together. I know we want to target, but if we eat.
Excuse me for a minute. Somebody was talking in the background. Mute yourself out, please. We can hear you talk.
Yeah. So if we eat right. I know we want to target specific areas, but if you're targeting a specific, let's say you go to the drugstore and you get something for male performance enhancement or whatever, and your other systems in your body aren't performing. Well, you might want to take that back and say it doesn't work. When in actuality, it's one of your other systems that's stopping it from working. So it all goes back to taking care of the body, eating right. You can't expect the body to function in one area and you just sabotaging it in another area. So you can start with being hydrated, eating right, keeping your blood pressure balanced. Buy a blood pressure cuff. When my sons come home from college, I slap that blood pressure cuff on their arm. They know they're getting their blood pressure checked. I want to know if you're taking care of yourself. Buy a blood pressure cuff so you'll know what your blood pressure is. Back to you, Frank.
Yeah, that's good. All right, well, all heart and mind. Let me get this replay number, too, if anybody wants to replay. The replay number is 712-432-0379 in the same code, 753-907#, and it should be up, I said, in probably about an hour or so. So you want me to send this one to you again what it did last time, Doc?
Yes, that'll be perfect.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you, but I'm going to let you go ahead and close us out in prayer.
Dear God, we thank you for yet another opportunity. We thank you for blessing us all to come back together again, for the powerful life-altering information that you've already, made a way for us to stay healthy, and we appreciate the body that we're living in. We ask you to make it more clear to us, give us the confidence and courage to make our bodies a priority, and show us what we're really made of. Show us what you really gave us, Father, when you gave us this body to live, and help us to discover the truths, the hidden truths that are within, so that healing can spring forth. We thank you for longevity. We thank you for blessing our families, and we thank you for helping us to be the leaders in health that we need to be, so that others can follow. Our family members will notice and pay attention, and we're eating right, and they'll begin to eat right. And we transfer a generational wealth of healing and mental clarity and focus and mental wellness. I thank you, Father, that we're changing the patterns of generations in our families, and we're carving a new path of health and wellness. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Phil Teller, are you on? If you're Phil gonna be out, he's gonna speak to us next week. Phil Teller, are you on? He may be on mute or something. Okay, guys, a good night. So I appreciate each and everybody, and I love all of you. All right, Doc. We'll talk, Doc.
All right, awesome. Good night.
All right, good night.